Hey there, friend. Let's talk about something we all care about deeply, our health. Did you know that some of the foods we eat every day, the ones that seem harmless or even comforting, could be quietly increasing our risk of cancer? It's a tough truth, but knowledge is power. Today, I want to walk you through a few of these sneaky culprits, and more importantly, how to outsmart them. Take processed meats, for example. That pack of sausages in your fridge or the bacon you crisp up on weekends? They're often loaded with nitrates and nitrites. Now, these preservatives might keep your food fresh longer, but here's the kicker: when they hit your gut, they can morph into something called nitrosamines. And those little troublemakers? The World Health Organization says they're directly linked to colorectal cancer. Scary, right? But here's the good news: you don't have to give up flavor. Try swapping processed meats for fresh cuts and marinate them with turmeric, garlic, or ginger. Not only do these spices add a punch of taste, but they're also packed with anti-inflammatory benefits. Now, let's talk about that summer barbecue ritual. I get it, charred burgers and smoky ribs are irresistible. But when fat drips onto hot coals, it creates these toxic compounds called PAHs. They're like invisible hitchhikers that cling to your food and, over time, can damage your DNA. Here's a trick my grandma taught me: wrap your meat in foil before grilling. It keeps the smoke at bay, and if you marinate with olive oil and rosemary, you'll slash those harmful chemicals by up to 90%. And speaking of hidden dangers, ever opened a bag of peanuts only to find a few moldy ones hiding at the bottom? I used to just pick them out and munch the rest. Big mistake. Mold produces something called aflatoxin, a nasty toxin that even cooking can't destroy. It's a leading cause of liver cancer. So, if you spot mold, toss the whole batch. Store nuts and grains in airtight jars, and buy from trusted sources. Your body will thank you. Now, let's peek into your pantry. See those canned soups or veggies? They're convenient, sure, but many cans are lined with a chemical called BPA. Over time, it can seep into your food and mess with your hormones, raising the risk of breast and prostate cancers. A simple fix? Opt for fresh or frozen veggies, or look for BPA-free labels. And when you're storing leftovers, grab a glass container instead. Oh, and that bottle of oil you've been reheating for frying? Let's talk about that. Reusing oil might save a few pennies, but it creates acrolein, a toxic compound linked to colon and breast cancers. My rule? Never reuse oil more than twice. Better yet, try coconut or avocado oil. They handle heat like champs. And sugar, sugar. It's not just cavities we're dodging. Cancer cells thrive on sugar, it's their favorite fuel. But here's a sweet swap: next time you're craving something sugary, reach for a handful of berries or a square of dark chocolate. They'll satisfy that itch without feeding trouble. Look, I know changing habits isn't easy, but small tweaks can make a world of difference. Start with one swap this week. Maybe ditch the canned beans for dried ones, or try grilling with foil. Your future self will feel the ripple effects of these choices. And hey, if you're feeling overwhelmed, pause and take a breath. We're in this together. In the next part, we'll tackle a few more everyday foods that might surprise you, like that glass of wine you unwind with or the salty snacks you crave. But for now, pick one tip from today and run with it. Progress, not perfection, right? Your health isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And every smart choice is a step toward the finish line. Let's pick up where we left off, because here's the thing: protecting your health isn't about overhauling your life overnight. It's about those small, intentional choices that add up. Take sugar, for example. That afternoon cookie habit or the spoonful of sugar in your coffee? It's not just about cavities. Cancer cells devour sugar faster than healthy ones. They're like greedy little monsters, and refined sugar is their favorite feast. But here's a trick I learned from my mom. When a sugar craving hits, I grab a handful of frozen grapes or a date stuffed with almond butter. Sweet, satisfying, and no guilt. Now, let's talk about that glass of wine you might enjoy after a long day. I get it, life's stressful, and a drink can feel like a lifeline. But alcohol breaks down into something called acetaldehyde in your body. It's like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. It damages your DNA and raises the risk of breast, liver, and colon cancers. If you're not ready to ditch the ritual, try swapping wine for sparkling water with a splash of pomegranate juice. It's still a fancy drink, but your cells will thank you. And what about soda? Those fizzy drinks might feel refreshing, but they're loaded with high-fructose corn syrup, a sneaky ingredient that fuels inflammation, insulin spikes, and yes, cancer growth. My nephew used to drink 3 cans a day until he switched to sparkling water with muddled berries. Now, he says he doesn't even miss the sugar rush. Speaking of cravings, let's chat about salty snacks. Pickles, chips, instant noodles, they're quick, easy, and packed with sodium. But too much salt wears down your stomach lining, making it a playground for bacteria like H. pylori, which can lead to stomach cancer. Instead of reaching for the salt shaker, try roasting chickpeas with smoked paprika or sprinkling nutritional yeast on popcorn. You'll get that savory kick without the risk. Now, let's tackle something you might not see on the label: GMOs. Genetically modified crops like corn and soy are often drenched in pesticides like glyphosate, which the WHO calls a probable carcinogen. I know organic can be pricey, so here's my hack. Prioritize organic for the dirty dozen: strawberries, spinach, apples, and don't stress the rest. And always wash your produce. A quick soak in baking soda and water can remove up to 90% of pesticide residue. Look, I'm not saying you need to live in a bubble. Last week, I had a bacon cheeseburger at my grandson's birthday party and enjoyed every bite. But balance is key. Maybe you skip the soda today, try herbal tea tomorrow. Celebrate the wins and forgive the slip-ups. Progress, not perfection, right? So, we've covered 10 dangerous foods that can cause cancer. Remember, your health is in your hands. Change your diet today to protect yourself and your loved ones. In next chat, we'll dive into the power of what you add to your plate. Think vibrant, cancer-fighting foods that turn your meals into medicine. But for now, pick one tweak: swap soda for sparkling water, or try a salt-free spice blend. Tiny steps, my friend. They're how we build a lifetime of health. Remember, you're not just avoiding toxins, you're reclaiming your vitality. And that's something worth savoring. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Leave a comment so we can discuss. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on essential health information.